What is up with it, Panther Nation? This is your sports editor, Daniel Stackhouse, here with an episode of Coach's Corner. This week we're going back to football, and we're going to be talking with the offensive coordinator, Coach Burt Waller. Coach, how you doing today?
Good. How about you?
Doing pretty good. So let's start with this idea that's been thrown around the past few weeks about battle testing this offense. So with the 4 non-region games you guys have played, what have you seen, and where do you think this team is at the moment?
Well, we've done some good things. We've had some explosive plays. We showed our youth a little bit. We've seen some different looks, and then we've just been out physicaled a couple of times. And so we've seen, I think we've seen what we need to correct. We moved some people around, and hopefully we're able to fix some of these issues, and you'll see that on Friday night.
Before we get to that, let's kind of talk about, and we've seen a lot of really good stuff from this offense, but let's rewind the clock back a bit, but around the offseason when there was no real certainty of how this offense was going to have to tune things up in some areas. So just kind of tell me from your perspective what it was like to kind of make that changes to produce the offense that we see today.
Well, we had a similar situation in 2015 where we made it the second round, but we had a sophomore quarterback, we had a sophomore B back, we had a sophomore A back, and we had a senior Z. Similar to this year, except for our A is a senior, but he's also a first-year player for us. So we're really green back there. And so we've had to focus on certain aspects of the offense more so than we normally would, and just to make sure that we got all the details down because we are so green and we're going to see a bunch of different looks. So overall, I've been pleased with how they've handled it because it is a lot of stuff. But we're still working every day to shore things up, obviously, because we haven't been as clean as we would like to be.
That being said, just kind of go through these past 4 games. Just kind of tell me like how you thought this offense was performing.
Well, Mount Zion was good. We had several one-play drives where we scored on one play. We moved it pretty good. East Coweta, I think if you take the turnovers away, we probably win that game, but they all count. Union Grove was physical and was a challenge for us and kind of exposed us a little bit as far as our blocking ability, and we've worked hard on that. And Sandy Creek was kind of the similar situation, and it kind of forced us to move some people around in the backfield and see how that goes. And I think just judging from practice yesterday, and we'll get another look today, I think we've made the right decisions. We just need to see how it plays out.
Speaking of which, you've had a bye week this past week, and you're getting a region. So tell me what these 2 weeks have been to do to get things worked out.
Well, a lot of it is dependent on need, obviously, and the defense is using some people, and so we've had to move some people around. Brandon's probably going to go to wing, and Gray Joseph and Dorsey Benefield are gonna run at B. For now, we'll still have Barnett and Curry at A, and we got several guys that can fill in if need be, but that's how we're going to roll with it this week and see how that plays out. And of course, we can always move people around, but we've used this bye week to kind of just shore up. The first week we didn't really talk about Harris. We just tried to correct us and make sure we were right, and then this week we've just been focusing strictly on Harris.
Now let's talk about this offense in particular. First, just take me through the skill positions on this roster, and first just kind of about the newer greener players and just kind of like how they've been developing.
Well, for us it starts with the quarterback and how much he can handle, and Williams done a great job of handling that, taking all that in. It's a lot of verbiage. It's a lot of checks and moving around and formation. So he's done well. And then Devin Barnett, first-year player as a senior, very explosive. Still working with him every day on getting a lot of he carries the ball fine. It's all the other things that we're having to work on with him. And then Brandon Mathis, very seasoned, has played in a lot of football games, and he's going to be good wherever we put him. So we'll see what he looks like back at Z, which is a wing position that he's familiar with. And then Gray looks very comfortable at B. Dorsey looks very comfortable at B. They're both new. Those are our inside guys. they do a lot of the heavy lifting between the tackles. And Malachi's done great out on the edge. He's been exactly what we need out there, and Cole's been out there a little bit, and Gavin and those guys. So we're good. We're okay in what we need in the skill positions. We just need to go out and execute and show how good we can be, because I don't think we've seen that from this group yet. And so I'm hoping we will see that on Friday.
And now just kind of tell me about the offensive line, because we don't really talk about the offensive line too much. So just not only about them, but what it means to have that kind of line backing these players up.
Yeah, it's, if you're going to have a young backfield, it's always beneficial to have a more experienced line. And we got some experience up there. They're just like us, though. They got to clean some stuff up, and they've had a good week of practice. And I think we're always experimenting, playing the if-then game. If somebody got hurt, where would we go? And I feel good about our depth there. But Cole Sanders has been outstanding every game. He's playing very well right now. V. Holcomb's played great at guard. Thompson's done a good job at center. We're just always working with him, trying to get him called up, because he didn't play O-line last year, so he's probably the greenest of those guys up front. And then Rampy and Dalton are going out and doing what they do at the tackle position. And Josh Pfeiffer, a sophomore, has been very impressive at tight end. He probably had his best game against Sandy Creek. So he's done some good things. Again, even though with those 6 guys up front, they're doing a good job, you still got a sophomore tight end and a first-year starter that happens to be a senior at center. So they're still getting reps and learning, and I think hopefully we'll see how this practice has helped them over the last 2 weeks this weekend.
And as offensive coordinator, how has this been for you to be able to work with this offense and experiment with the potential of what this offense could be?
Well, we haven't changed our offense per se, but we always tweak it to figure out what we're good at. Like, this offense is not going to look like last year's offense when we had 4 seniors in the backfield, which it didn't look the same as the offense 4 years before when we had Cole Gilly and Joey DeLuca and all those guys. So every year it's different, and every team kind of takes on its own identity, and you try to find your strengths of that team and you play off that. And that's what we've tried to do. We've been much more jet oriented as opposed to buck sweep, and so we've kind of tweaked our play calling and our play action stuff off of that, and we'll continue to build on that and see if we can exploit people using that kind of motion and formation. So
finally, getting ready for the first region game of the year against Harris County. Just tell me about getting ready for this game and how this team's feeling about going to that first matchup.
Harris is a good football team. They're well coached. They're good up front, and they've got some speed on the back end. So they will definitely be a formidable opponent, and we will have to play well to win. And it's important for us to get this first one. We don't want to do what we did last year with Jonesboro and start out 0-1 in the region and have to, win a couple of real close games to keep that 1 seed. We want to get off on a 1-0 start and be heading into Northgate with a win. So it's vitally important for us to play well this weekend and take some pressure off our defense and allow them to just play instead of having to play perfectly like they did against Sandy Creek. We got to take some pressure off them and do our job. So that's what I'm looking for out of us this week.
That's all I got for you. Thank you very much, Coach.
Yep, enjoyed it. Thanks.
Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see this game, that's gonna surely be a good one. Head to Panther Stadium this Friday at 7:30 p.m. as the Stars Mill Panthers take on the Harris County Tigers. Until then, that's all we got. That's all from here. From myself, Coach Waller, and Fernando Roscoe behind the camera, I'm Daniel Stackhouse. Thank you for watching. Go Panthers!